The Good Guy Experience.
Yo, what's good? The good guys are back.
Hey,
How's
hey,
it?
hey, how's it going?
How's everybody doing this week?
We
We
are great.
good.
All right, all right. Little change, surprise. All right. So, got your boy Tyrone, Mr. Chocolate is here. All right. I got Black Pearl. What's happening?
Still to the right.
Still, all right. I got Royal Rain.
Hello, hello.
Got that hair laid to the side.
Laid slave.
And then we got the big homie Tisa. What's happening?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me back again.
Yay.
All right, all
So,
right.
as you guys can tell, we are missing someone today. I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that he'll jump on and join us. So, don't be too disappointed. But today, what we wanted to do is start off with a wonderful woman who you see all the time with us, who gives such straightforward and wonderful input when we are talking about our topic. But what you don't know is Big Tisa has a lot going on where she contributes to our community. So our business spotlight today is Minutes with Tisa, and I'm gonna give Tisa her spotlight so she could tell you what that's all about.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm gonna try not to ghetto and cry, but Minutes with Tisa is something I started because I wanted to learn about my own behavior. I am certified. I'm a certified life coach. I like to say mindfulness coach. I have a certification in NLP, neuro linguistic practitioner, which means the study of behavior. So, long story short, it's someone who coaches you that helps you find out why are you stuck or where you need to go. Not a therapist, guys, far from a therapist, just someone who helps you find a direction or something that you may be stuck in. You can check out my services on Fiverr. Consultation is as cheap as $5 for the first consultation, and we can talk about the rest of the bills once you sign up from there. But as always, I love hanging out with you guys. I can give my opinion with them. It feels like home. So I'm much professional there, but over here, these my people. So
It's a safe space.
Safe space all the time. All right, thank you. So y'all go ahead, check out Minutes with Tisa. Get some direction with your life, and make yourself the greatest you can be. Thank you, Tisa.
thank you guys. Oh, I feel special.
So what we talking about today? What we
Oh
talking
man.
about today?
So the people been talking about it. We chatted about it a little bit. We talked about you know, signs of toxic relationships. You know.
We've
Oh
all
boy.
been there, right?
Yes, we have. Yes, we
Yes.
have.
Facts and some more facts.
Absolutely. So
Go
when
ahead,
we
Corey.
so when I've been in a toxic relationship, I just felt like I lost myself. I didn't have any sense of me anymore. And that is a very, very terrible place to be when you don't know you anymore because you have basically conformed to walking on eggshells. And it kind of relates to being in a abusive relationship. They're closely related, but for me, that's where I was at.
Well, for me, so my toxic experience was more. It was more, if it's even possible, more gentle. So
Mm.
it's so bad to say it like that, but it was gentle. Like it was that person liked the makeup part of the relationship, so it's almost like they were always starting the argument to make up. And I kind of started to feel caged, if that makes sense. Like I was free to be me, but it was always something else that came with being me. Like you could do that, but let's talk about this for 4 hours and figure out why you did that. And lots of emotional up and down that was so tiring. And I think that's what it was. It was so tiring. Like I didn't realize that I started really trimming and cut and pasting myself to avoid arguments, to avoid the dramatics. And for women out there, if you've never seen a man cry for dramatics, Jesus, that's all I'm gonna say. That's my experience with
Dramatics.
toxic. But Tisa, what about you?
Oh man, I think I just came up toxic. Period. Like when you talk about it, no, when you talk about a toxic relationship, it kind of comes from your upbringing. Like when you learn what is good and what is bad. So let's say we got a household that is two good parents, and you never see any fighting or anything of that nature. Then it's kind of like unrealistic because you don't get to see what's really what because they hide it from you. So growing up, try to maintain this perfect relationship.
Yes.
See, like what to do when it comes to different situations. Hey, girl.
Wait, let's pause. Hey, girl.
We got the homie Shantae on.
Shantae,
Yeah,
you ready to
I'm
talk
getting
about?
good. Don't stop. Hey, y'all.
No, we just want to make sure you're ready to talk about toxic relationships.
Yeah, I've been in a couple. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You
Okay,
gotta
so
properly greet you.
go ahead, Tisa. Finish, because Tisa was hitting some good points. Go ahead, Tisa.
Okay, so it my shit was toxic from the beginning. So
But
I
can
didn't have a good
totally relate.
example. I didn't have a good example. So from the first relationship into now, I've been kind of figuring out what works and what don't work for me. So I know that hitting me is bad, but I've been mentally abused so much. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like because my outside persona is so strong that you're not gonna attack me that way, but they beat the shit out of my brain. Like, so
Absolutely.
it got to the point that I didn't even know what I like to eat. When it was time for me to be single, I'm like, what do I get from the grocery store? Because I'm so used to conforming until, like, it's like Transformer. Like, I just scan a person. Hey, I'm about to just be what you need me to be. So,
I think
I'm working on it.
I think you made an excellent point about like growing up and not seeing your parents argue, because I could relate. I probably only saw my parents argue twice. And I mean like argue. I knew when they were having a back and forth because it'd be like Saturday morning and I could hear the tone. It wasn't yelling. I could hear like the that type of thing, but not arguing, which is still sort of healthy, like to disagree. So I think for me, when I was in my toxic relationship, I just didn't want to fail again. I'm like, am I fucking up another relationship? What the hell is going on? How come I could see all these great things? So I was kind of playing the Captain Fix It, right? Captain Save that hoe. Like I'm gonna make it better. But what I didn't realize is because it wasn't a bruise on my arm, it was still bad, right? Technically, I feel like sometimes that bruise on your arm is better than the mental and the emotional, because the bruise, kind of, and it goes away. The mental, it becomes a permanent, like it's almost like a tattoo on your in your mind, in your emotion, in your makeup, in your conditioning, and whatever. So, Shantae, you said you had some experiences. What's up?
Hey, y'all. So yes. Well, let me just say I differ in that I saw my parents argue. Real bad. It was bad. I mean, I'm gonna just not like to the point where he did not lay a hand on her. Like my daddy never hit her. My mama was the violent one. My mama was her little self. But no, I would agree in mental abuse hits way harder than, and I know, I still don't condone no type of abuse, no type of abuse. But yeah, narcissism is real. I'm gonna just say that.
Yes.
And I've been in situations where I was with a control freak, or like maybe somebody who had like an uncomfortable fetish. I mean, it was uncomfortable for me. It just, anytime where you're uncomfortable and you cannot confidently relay that in a way that you're going to reach that person, like there's a problem, right? And as fixers or healers or people who are here to love, right, and lift people up, it seems like your duty to like do that. But it's don't. I've learned not to take on that responsibility, because I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't have nothing to do with nobody else's baggage. You deal with your stuff. You deal with your demons, because I have my own, right? And I'm healing myself. So I think it just comes from what you see, also, your environment definitely, but you learn from what you don't want, right? Like you learn from those lessons. And I think ultimately like that's what parents want, right? Like they want us to like do better and be better and like not have to live through their mistakes or whatever trials and tribulations they had as coming up or raising you. So yeah, and that's what I'm looking for. Like I'm just looking for peace in my home. That's why I'm single, because there's
Yeah.
peace in my home while I'm single, right? And I don't need nobody disturbing that. Like I've been single for a long time on purpose. That's what people miss. Don't miss that part, baby.
Amen. On purpose, by choice.
Time. But
I'm
baby,
with
don't
you.
miss that by choice, on purpose, because it ain't forget about the table conversation. It ain't that, right? It ain't none of that, because I ain't expecting none of that. What I'm looking for is emotional. I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure and being able to express myself in whatever that looks like.
Yeah,
And
but a
just
lot of people don't have that. A
yeah,
lot of people don't have that. A lot of people talk about how great the sex is and how he's bad, he looks good.
listen, I'm a
But
girl who
what
can't do
about the
it.
person?
Anybody who has sex with me is gonna be good, right? I ain't
Yeah,
even
but wait. But every woman is not like that. Every man is not like that. You can have sex with a
that's
person and have the most unhealthy attachment. That person
exactly.
takes your spirit and wraps it up, and you're
Those
trying
are
to
the
figure out
worst
why.
ones,
Yeah,
honestly, because those
yeah.
are the most
So
powerful connections.
I
Um,
I am 100% with you. I have people who go, yes, by choice, yes, by choice. Because if you're not gonna love
on
me on the
purpose.
level I'm loving myself and better,
I am
thank
like you
you.
gotta come with what I'm giving me or
Yeah,
more,
and
right? And I
because
have set the bar high, baby.
and I think also because after being in a toxic relationship, I just never want to be
You
there
gotta heal,
again.
right? Because once
Right?
you
I never
heal,
want
it's
to be
like
there again.
once
And
you're free of that, you don't want
mhm.
to feel that no
And
more.
then the reason I chose to be single for a while is because I don't want to ever be the cause for someone to feel what I felt because I didn't heal, because I moved on, because that dick was so good, but all the emotions I brought is,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just don't want to do that. So I'm sorry. What about you, Tyrone? We over here chatting it up.
I
What
feel you.
about you?
My bad, bro.
Nah, it's all
Exactly.
good. So yeah, so toxic relationships for me, I've had a few, had some toxic situations. Um, but for me, like a lot of times it got physical in the sense where when you're a guy, and you're a bigger guy, a lot of times women think they can slap you and hit you and stuff like that, and it just society wise, you're not going to hit them back because it's jail time, so yeah, so you get that, you get the manipulation, like women use their tears against you. Some women,
Mm,
some women really be crying, really be sad. Sometimes it's that crying where I'm gonna get what I want, I'm gonna cry,
absolutely. Guilt
and
is one hell of a drug when you're trying to manipulate somebody.
yeah, the whole guilt thing, the manipulation, that's and that's toxic, when people withholding sex, using that kitty cat to, try to
Sex as a
manipulate you.
weapon.
What about the silent treatment?
Yeah, silent treatment is super toxic, especially when you're like trying to communicate, you know,
Hmm.
and the person's like, it's fine, it's fine. And it's like, bro, it's not fucking fine, bro. What's up? Like, what's going on? And just trying to use that. People use, anytime you use somebody's emotions against them, I feel like that's a toxic trait and
Do,
just
do
not a
you
very healthy
feel
relationship.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Before we continue, hold on one moment. This is just a PSA on behalf of our original host. Make sure, you guys, that if you are logged in
oh yes.
through Facebook, make sure that you guys give permission to StreamYard to show your name, because we see some excellent comments coming through, but we see Facebook user, unless you just want to be discreet, and that's cool if that's what you want to do. But
Some of our people got warrants. So
Now that's toxic.
yeah.
yeah, if you got warrants, just keep that Facebook user. I ain't trying to get nobody locked up.
But please make sure that you guys also, if you are logging in to tonight's show, that you're logged in through the Good Guy Experience actual page or through YouTube, so that way we can actually see your comments, because we don't want to miss anything, because everything that you guys say is very important to us, because
Absolutely.
you make us great. So that's it. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Ty.
Go ahead, Royal. So
Yes, sir.
So Tyrone, just to piggyback on what you're saying, so many times when we hear about toxic relationships, we hear what men do to women, but there is a growing population of what women do to men.
Yes.
It's
Right?
always it's
It's
always been a thing. It just people don't talk about it as much. Like for my like I was in the military, right? So my experience is way different. I've seen some of the most grimiest, toxic things from those times, man. I've seen, that whole. If you was in the military, you know about Jody. You know how Jody got your girl. You go, you leave, you go to the field for a couple of months, you come back, and your girlfriend, she been with Jody, and it's stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of manipulation. A lot of people come back to a lot of people my complexion come back to Chinese babies, stuff like that.
that is such a big wow.
So
Wow.
how do you deal with in a situation? I'm gonna use your Jody situation. How do you deal with coming back home, and not you specifically, but maybe from others' experiences that you've communicated with, right?
Oh,
But like when you come back home from deployment and your girl or your wife is pregnant with another man's child, but she swear up and down is yours because she's not going to fess per se that this child is not. How do you deal with that?
You tell her I has been in the military consecutively. What do you say consecutively? That means back to back to back, bitch.
Consecutive.
well,
Consecutively.
Yes,
That ain't my
consecutively.
business.
well, for me, luckily for me, that wasn't my story. It was a lot of people around me story. You know, um, like it's a lot of crazy. It's like a guy I worked with when I was in Iraq. He would call his wife, and it was funny. He was like, "Hey man, I need advice." Like, what's up? He's like, "Every time I call my wife, she's busy." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What you mean, bro?" I call her in different times. I wake up in the middle of the night and call her, so it's during the day. She's always busy, and so it was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think Jody got your wife, bro. And then he was like, "Oh, hey man, my bank account is way lower. We're getting
No,
paid
stop.
better than that."
Stop.
So yeah, so basically she was over there like, tricking off with his money, had a dude, and he came back home and I saw the Slammer magazine, he tried to kill that girl. He
Yes.
didn't, but he tried to, so it can be crazy, man. So I've seen a lot from the male perspective of things that happen to men. Like, so when I hear, it always been like, the men or the dogs and stuff. I'm like, I don't know about that one, dog. It's kind of goes both ways there.
I think from not a male, obviously, but I have a lot of male friends, and it's kind of sad because the level of manipulation is beyond me. Like sometimes I'm talking to my cousins, like, do you not see what she's doing? Like, it's a lot of guilt, it's a lot of manipulation, it's a lot of up and down. Like, you meet that person and they're so nice, and you're just, oh, she's such a sweet person, but behind closed doors, um, there's like a lack of support. There's this feeling of being drained. There is, I can't be my authentic self. And I think with men, because they don't have the same forum that women have, where we could go, girl, let me tell you what he's doing. He can't do that to you. Is they just kind of settle or condition themselves to, this is how women are, or this is how it should be. And now you're walking around half a man or half of yourself, knowing something's missing, but figuring, well, this is.
Well, yeah. Men don't really, we don't nurture each other when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like most time, we laugh at each other. Like, man, you stupid. Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah.
Like you get clown. Like the dudes who came up with Chinese baby. I shouldn't say China. Just,
Babies they could tell weren't theirs.
You dark like me and she dark like me and your baby, they not, it's not albinism, it's straight, like they're a different race. And I've seen that a few times, and nobody's like, oh brother, oh, it's like, what's wrong with you? Oh, that ain't your baby, and you get clowned. So yeah, that's true. But I like what Victor said though. a lot of times your toxic relationships make you appreciate your current healthy ones.
Yeah.
So when you do find a healthy relationship, you do appreciate it a lot more.
Well, some people have to see what they don't want to understand what they do want, right? I think that also is why it's so important to have a support system. Sometimes we think jealousy is cute and that means that person wants me, but jealousy becomes possessiveness, and possessiveness becomes controlling, just like this person just said. But the problem is, I think when you don't have that support system, the person being controlled becomes submissive and not even realize it. One thing I think is really big in people, but I see more in men, is the fear of confrontation, which is excellent for a toxic relationship. You're scared. You don't want to say you're scared, but that's what it is. It's a fear to confront. It's a fear of what your anger could become, and you just don't want to go there. You want to keep the peace, but to the point where you're disturbing your own peace. That is a sign of other things, but it is a sign of how toxic your relationship is, where you have that fear of confrontation, and so you just do whatever it is to shut it down and walk away. That means you're not free to be your authentic self. You know what I mean? I should be able to go, I don't like this, without feeling like it's going to be the end. I'm sorry, Tyrone.
Yeah, well, a lot of times, guys, it's that idea of training the man.
Can we say conditioning? I hate the word training.
Which I never like. Oh well, you gotta train him. I gotta train you to. I've always kind of fought back on that, like
he's a pet.
Yeah,
I hate that word training anything, but
like that's always kind of feels so manipulative and toxic to me. The whole training thing.
It is.
And you kind of get the training when you get a lot of men. You get married, they say just happy wife, happy life,
and that's some.
And I push back on that. I say happy spouse, happy house.
Happy house.
You feel me? So everybody's got to be happy. If you're just trying to make one person happy and they're like the the be all end all of everything, you lose yourself. You gotta make each other happy. It's gotta go both ways.
Yeah. I think sometimes we forget that. Okay, so the saying that says, if you want to get over someone, get under them, is the worst thing you can do to yourself. It is horrible.
Right.
Because what you're doing is taking all that unhealing and just building a foundation of unhealing. So I know a lot of people do that, and then they get into a relationship and they're like, well, the last person left me and I think you're gonna leave. Well, that means you're not healed, sweetheart.
Right.
You're not healed. That fear of abandonment is being built up from the vagina or the penis you're swinging.
That fear of abandonment is real.
This is my thing.
Oh, go ahead. No, I just wanted to say, like, there's an adjustment. So I know the comment was like, oh yeah, well, I'm looking, I'm glad I'm in a healthy relationship now, and I look forward to that. I do one day, but I know it's going to be an adjustment for me because all I'm used to is toxicity and and narcissism, right? Like, I'm going to be honest with myself on that. I know it's going to be an adjustment because I don't know what that look like, right? Like, dudes ain't opening my doors and doing whatever else. I don't know, y'all.
It's a beautiful thing, and you deserve it, queen.
That's a good point.
But I'm not used to that. I was brought up by strong women, like my granddaddy was the man and stuff like that. But in terms of a lot of strong male figures, like we didn't have those. So strong women raised me mostly. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I do have male, mentors and things like that. I credit my life for and things like that, but ultimately growing up, as a woman, right? So that's my perspective, and that's just how I'm wired. And with this healing, you got to learn how to adjust and like unlearn and relearn things. So,
but you're aware of that, and I think that people are not aware of that, and I think that was really where I was coming from. Not because I'm not just walking in like, oh, I mean, I had that experience. I had male figures, but I also had narcissistic marriage. And so, the natural triggers are going to be like, wait a minute, why is this person being nice to me? But
and that's your defense mechanism, though. Like, oh, they want something, or they expect something from me, or like whatever. Just whatever your thoughts. That's why we got to control that. Though.
But I think that's something a lot of women, gotta watch out for it too, because a lot of times for guys, that's a red flag if you like meet a woman and she's just been used to toxic relationships
It
and
is.
she kind of pushes you away a lot because they tend to push you away. Like it's like, nah, this ain't real. Like this isn't. So you can really miss out,
On a
on
blessing.
that.
I've done that. I know I have, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm missing out. I know what's for me is for me, but like I know that I've pushed people away on purpose.
Mm.
That's okay though. Like I'm okay with that because I'm gonna protect.
But that's
me.
your journey. You do know
like
that's your journey,
and
right?
I'm stuck on that. Yeah.
It's your journey. It's what you go through. I know that most of the times when you meet the right person, they're going to keep trying. It's just, are you going to keep trying? And I think the reason why I brought that topic up of and the way to get over someone is to get under them is because now you come with all of that baggage without identifying it, expecting the next person to do the healing for you. That person gets the beat down, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever, or even physically for some people, because you don't want to heal. You're looking for outside healing.
Right.
And my whole thing is sometimes it's okay to be by yourself. If you don't love you,
It's a beautiful thing.
who gonna love you?
Right.
I've just seen women who go
Right.
boop, boop, boop on a man and go, well, what he gonna do? He gonna hit me? You gonna hit me now? You gonna hit me? Because the last person used to beat on you. Right. I've also seen women go into relationships and I go, what do you like about this man? And they go, he don't beat me. That's not good. That's not good either.
So one don't mean it's the one to go with, right?
So, I mean, I just feel like toxicity, it doesn't just have to be a man and woman or woman, like a romantic.
Right.
You have that in your parents.
Right.
You have that in your siblings. You have
any relationship, really.
Any
like friendship.
So I think you need to identify that. That's what it is.
Right. Right.
And
And
so you
yeah.
Another huge problem we have is that we have a lot of, just like you have predators and prey, you have codependent people. So let's say it's a codependent person is a need to be needed. So let's say if a male have a need to be needed, then a woman tends to take away her needs or his needs to provide. So it's like, I'm going to work overtime. I don't need your money. Or you can't have no ass. I'm going to get a dildo. I'm just saying. It's just if you know your person is codependent and they want to take care of you, one of your punishments is to take that away from them. And you start to control things, so they stop speaking about their opinion or how they feel. Like, I don't want to argue with this bitch, she got it, whatever she say. Yeah. And it's a relationship. It's just like, I'm there because I want to be needed, but at the same time, he get much abused as a female get abused, but he ain't about to tell his homie she playing. I'm like, I'm not about to go to like, we good. Our relationship good, but
that is an ego-based relationship, which is still toxic. Oh, that was a great example.
It was, because Tisa,
great.
I was going to comment on what you just said earlier, which is sometimes when you're in a toxic relationship, you find your value in that person instead of yourself. And so, to your point, where that codependency comes in at, it's like, I don't feel like I can be as great as I can be without this person, or I can't accomplish this or move forward without this person.
Or I can't leave because they need me.
Right. It's that constant draw of dependency. You need me, I need you. When ultimately all you need is your doggone self.
Glory.
How many people have got that I'm gonna kill myself? Let me tell you something. I take that very seriously. The last person who told me they're gonna kill themselves, I pulled my beam out. Like, where you want me to shoot you at? Because I'm about
no, we don't want to do that.
Listen, I'm not playing. I take that very seriously. And when a person has control over your emotions and you get ready to leave because I'm tired of it, I had enough. It's like, you live, I'm gonna kill myself. How about I assist you? We get this shit over with because you keep coming back with this, and I keep coming back because I don't want you to hurt yourself. But the game plan is to get me back in there, and I start loving on you, and then you go right back to treating me back. So it's like,
I just called a suicide hotline for him. I call a suicide hotline and be like, all right, so they're gonna come help you. I'll be over here.
Yeah,
But
it
Or
doesn't
less.
work like that.
because
For
we
those,
still breaking up. But I'm gonna
Mhm.
call these people to help you,
Mhm.
and
But that is a
Well,
giant
good
thing. When you
luck.
finally had enough, then it goes to something that severe. And I'm like, it's
yes,
that really
yes,
feels that way. But they use that because they know you might be sensitive to it, or you might have had somebody that did commit suicide. So you stay because you don't want them to hurt themselves, but you suffering the whole time.
Right.
yes.
Right.
Well, that's really sucks if they using that if they not really
Some
meaning
people
that.
do.
Have you been with
I've
a
seen because
narcissist?
I've
That's
seen
like
people.
narcissist 101.
'Cause I've known people like really do it and like really been in that dark place, But just to say it, if somebody's saying that and they not really meaning it,
Yeah.
that's some
I
BS.
have been there. I have wounds on my hand. I don't know if y'all
Mhm.
can see it.
Mhm.
From that, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like, no. I'm like, wait, you just chopped me up. What's going on? And
Mhm.
that person didn't
Yeah.
do anything to them.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. And
um,
then sometimes what happens is when they finally decide, that person finally decides for themselves, I'm good, I'm going to move forward. That other individual that is gaslighting this
that's the
toxic,
word. Hmm.
that's gaslighting this toxic relationship is like, oh shit, you really gonna leave? And then they flip the whole script. So all that boohoo, all that unnecessary foolishness, it flips into anger because they have lost their power.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to abuse. If you
Yeah.
and Tisa can attest to this because this is what, right, when you think about the power and control wheel, when you're working with individuals who have gone through abusive relationships, we always focus on training and helping victims and perpetrators understand the power and control wheel, right, Cecily? Yep, she's like, yep. And so what happens is, um, when that control is removed, then all of a sudden anger comes. That's one of those side effects, because now I don't have control over you. I can't manipulate you anymore. I can't I can't get what I want from you anymore, whatever that may be, whether it's financial or otherwise. And they, like, seriously, they lose their shit.
Hmm.
And then you're dealing with something totally different. Go ahead, Tisa.
The women, this is what I find a
Go
lot
ahead.
in women, and I rock with y'all. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being honest because as
Be
many
honest.
sisters as I have brothers. I have a large ass family.
Yeah.
So I have found that women, they no longer want a man, but they feel like, I don't want you to be happy with nobody else.
There you go.
So
Mm.
I build you up. I did this. They forgot to say, I helped you and you did what you needed to do. It becomes more of me. I help you be a better person instead of I led you to be a better person. So they stick around knowing that they don't want that guy anymore, but they don't want them to be happy with
With someone
somebody else.
else.
It's like, I
Hmm.
put the work in, so why she get the house, or
There it is.
why he get the car? You
Yeah.
know, like,
Mhm.
shit, I'm happy you got it together, baby. You want me to come to the wedding? I'll decorate. You want me to pick out the dress? Like, what you need me to do? I'm there.
Mhm.
Like, I'm that bitch best friend. I'm happy you happy. But some people don't let people go because it's like, I put in the work, or let's say if they have a addiction or
I
something.
invested.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
invested my time. So it's not like, did you truly want them to do better? Because none of they better, you're holding them back because you don't want them to be happy
That's
with
it.
someone else.
Yeah, my benefits are
Uh-huh.
going to someone else. That's
Mhm.
what it is. I
Mhm.
think the other thing that I've seen happen to some males, probably to women too, is you play the you can trust me, and you get this like, let me hear your, everyone has a story, right? So they get the story and they use that against you. Remember,
Mm.
you said you wanted a family and you're not even giving us a real try. So that's why it doesn't work. I mean, if you really wanted it, you try and you just get, and it's like, but you're mistreating me, or I'm not happy here.
Mhm.
Right. So
Mhm.
they take the weakness that you opened up to trust them about,
Mhm.
and use that and continuously remind you over, this is who you were, this is who you were, and look, you're doing it again, you're doing it again. I like to say sometimes unforgiveness, not even sometimes, unforgiveness is toxic. If
Mm.
you got to keep reminding me who I was, that is toxic.
Or what I
Mm.
did, or what
Or
I
Or
what
what
I
I
said.
did.
did, yeah, that's
If you can't
toxic.
forgive,
Anything
then
past.
Right? Like, when I say, and I don't mean me per se, but when I say, or someone says in a relationship, I forgive you, you shouldn't say it just because it makes the conversation settle. I forgive you means, and now we're moving on.
That's it, right?
Right? It doesn't mean you forgot. That's fine. I get it. But it means, and now we're moving on.
Right.
And so if you make that decision, but you continuously remind that person, remember when you did this and you did that, and no,
Right.
no, and some more no.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of times people bring stuff up. If you can't forgive me, then just you gotta let me go.
Let me go.
You know, let me
And some
go.
people don't want to do either.
Well, I'm gonna help you out because
And that's dangerous. That's dangerous when people play those when people male or female whatever in these relationships, when you play these mind games, because that's exactly what they are. I'm gonna call it for what it is. When you play these mind games with people, you don't know how fragile a person truly is. So when they wig the fuck out on you, and I'm gonna go use Tyrone's example earlier with that person that came back from deployment. They already suffering from PTSD. Okay, let's be clear. So when they come home and you talking all this yin yang bullshit, that's what it is. You talking all this crazy bullshit. When this man loses his shit,
and he will,
and that quick moment, he has forgotten time, place, orientation, and he kills your monkey ass. Excuse me, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like,
girl.
But it really perturbs me because people don't understand when folks lose their mind for 1 second, their mental consciousness, and they hurt you. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, I didn't expect that," or "Oh my God, what did I do to deserve this, bitch?" Because you did this. You did this.
Yes,
why did you sit there? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being real passionate about this. I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm gonna let you speak on it because
But like people
it's
play
different
too
for
many
me.
games, and then when stuff go left, it's like, well, what did I do? Did I do that? Like Steve Urkel, did I do that? Bitch, yes, you did. And let me state this for all of y'all out there in the world. The term bitch for me goes both ways.
Absolutely.
Just like the N-word for me goes all across the board. I don't care what race, ethnicity you are. If you are, you are. So that's my disclaimer on that. And the same thing goes for bitch.
And we co-sign that. Thank you so much.
If you are a male, you can be a bitch to me. And if you are female, you can be a bitch to me too. So when I say bitch, I'm not talking about a specific person per se. I'm speaking in generalistic terms. But don't y'all stop playing these games because people are really going through right now.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I digress. Go ahead, y'all.
So
somebody.
Why do you guys think people are attracted to toxic relationships? Why?
A lot of times, all they know is what they've seen.
Yeah,
you know, so they think that's what it is. You know, from my experience, I've seen a lot of people. That's all they know. That's what they think is normal.
So the term, let me tell y'all, the term gaslighting comes from a 1944 movie, right? So this guy, he manipulates his wife's mind to the point where she actually sets herself on fire. So that's why we use the term gaslight. Like it's the ability to, I don't know if I'm getting frozen or not, frozen on my end. It's the ability to just make somebody. Is it me? Is it me?
No, you can keep talking. Your face is open, but we can hear you.
Like a Chinese kung fu flick.
Yeah, like let me stop. It's the ability to take full, you know what I'm saying, control. But what happens is, okay, let's say you've been through a toxic relationship and you meet somebody and they said they accept you from your forehead all the way down to your little ugly pinky toe, the little black thing up there. So you give them all of you. They know all of you. Like you just like, finally somebody gets me. And they take every last thing that you taught them, all the sensitive stuff, your triggers. You feel like, I told you what bothers me, so they're not gonna. Next thing you know, they doing everything on your list that you asked not to do that has been done to you. So then when I whoop that ass and the police got to come and I'm in jail and I need bail money. Oh, never mind. Y'all won't talk about me. But I'm just saying, it don't be the one thing that you did. It be years and years and years of you doing exactly what I asked you not to do, or what I told you that someone else did to me.
Yes.
Told me that you understand you're not gonna do it, and then you do it, and then I flip the fuck out, and all you hear is she flipped the fuck out. You don't hear why.
Yeah.
Right. You don't hear why.
They see your reaction versus what got you to that point.
And someone just commented, you get in so deep that it's hard to get out, even when you know you need to. So, how do you get unstuck? There's an author that wrote a book about how to unfuck yourself. Like, that's an excellent book. I'm sorry, I cannot remember that author's name. Lord forgive me, sir. But how do that's a great question. That's a great comment. But how do we get unstuck?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. For myself, I knew I needed to get out before I actually got out. And the reason why is there's a lot of mental and emotional things that happen. Some people's journey is different. I think, unfortunately, the longer you're in it, sometimes the harder it is to leave, right? And you question yourself, why did I make this decision? What the fuck? And the thing with a lot of toxic relationships, it's never bad the whole time. It's kind of like, it's like that, right? So those high moments make you doubt the low moments. And I think I stayed in my toxic marriage until the bad outweighed the good. The good just wasn't enough anymore. Even down to, I think we said in one of the episodes, the digmatized, it wasn't. Because it was good, and then that little voice goes, he gonna wild out again? Or is he doing this because he's prepping you for that? So I think I say this all the time, and it sounds crazy. It's choosing your peace. It's literally saying, I had enough. And I'm gonna tell you something I told one of my girlfriends. When it's really time to leave, you won't talk to anyone. You won't need anyone's opinion. You won't even worry what no one's saying. It is the most silent and serene process for yourself. It may not be on the outside that you'll ever experience, because a tired person doesn't talk about it. They just, I'm done, and they go. But it's not the process of actually leaving that's the hard part. It's all of it up to leaving. That's the hard part. Feeling like you're not a failure. Understanding that it's not a me thing alone. Understanding that there is something after, right? Understanding that you're enough. Even if you're in the process of healing, you are enough. And I think that's it. Because we get so caught up in that toxic, like, who's going to love me? No one's going to love me. Or I can't find this somewhere else. Or I know, like, as you get older, I'm ready to settle down. And I keep finding this. There is something better than that. Even if that better is by yourself, there is something better than that. And I think believing that, holding on to that, and using that as your guide is the most revealing journey that one can go through in their life, because you discover yourself at the end of it.
That's a lot.
It's all right.
But for me, I just be the hell out. Like I just be gone. Like I never. I guess men are different.
I'm with you, Ty. Like I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done.
But
I ain't think about
you're not done like that. Everyone's not done like that, because if everyone's done like this wouldn't even be a topic right now.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, you're right. You're right. So I was going to say, like, I'm like that too. I'll walk out, but the hard part is staying away from the toxicity, right? Like, because it always draws you in, like, no matter what, if it was the sex that was bomb, or if it was just, oh, I can't, like, get from under them because
the relationship, the friendship, or whatever.
Yeah, it's some, I mean, those soul ties, maybe they real, and it's serious out here in these streets. That's why you should not be sharing your body with any and everybody, okay? I sell the toys, but take care of yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm about. So
that spiritual tie and a joke through sex, though.
Listen, that's why people go crazy. That's why people fighting and gotta go to jail and all this other stuff. It's so serious.
I agree with you. When I was in the streets, I would drop people quick and just I wouldn't look back.
Mhm.
And I had a clause like you get one title shot, and there's no rematches. You know,
Mhm.
I was out of
I
there.
mean, because once you take the trash out, it's out. Like you don't go running behind the garbage truck, right? You
Right,
paying your taxes so they can take the trash away. Like you don't go run behind it. So it,
gone.
it
Well,
becomes
worrying about what others
Wait,
think.
I think Tisa was about to say something.
Right.
Oh, what I was gonna say is that what
Right.
I mean by making an exit plan is that when is a longevity relationship,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
why you're feeling some sort of way is like, am I here for financial reasons? Am I here because I feel like I'm needed? Am I here because I feel like they love me? So while you're feeling your pain, you're making an exit plan to figure out why you continue to stay. So when you
Mm-hmm.
finally do leave, you can stay gone. Because a
Right.
lot of the times it might be something like, I'm sick of this shit, and you leave and you get lonely or you get broke or whatever reason that you're staying for, you
Mhm.
come back to it. So that's what I said when I mean, like, when I say an exit plan is like figuring out, why am I, like, unfuck yourself. Why am I stuck here?
Right.
So when I
Right.
finally do get a chance to leave, I can make sure I don't repeat the pattern, which
Right.
is like toxic person at the toxic person. But for long term relationship, I chased a motherfucker for 15 years until he finally sat down and said it. Okay. Long story short, 15 years, I wanted what I didn't see. I felt like
Mhm.
a child should have two parents, no matter
Mhm.
what.
Mm.
I adjusted myself. I conformed myself to everything that I thought needed to be happened.
Mhm.
And one day he said that, he said, listen, I'm no longer attracted to you. I don't need you. I'm not
Mhm.
going to say what my reaction was, but a week after that, I was good.
Mhm.
That's cold
I was
blooded,
good.
man.
I was over it.
Mhm.
But I
It
needed
is.
to hear that it wasn't something that I needed to change, because I
Mhm.
was constantly beating on myself like, why can't you, why can't you get this right? Why can't you do what you didn't see growing up? And even to the point where my child was like, hey, I'm good. I don't need both of you motherfuckers together. I like y'all separate. Y'all crazy as hell. Like, I
Yeah.
Right.
get
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
Kids see the craziness.
I
go your
think
own way.
I think that happens to men too. So men, sometimes, not all men, sometimes when a man grows up in a single parent household, they want to be the man that they never saw with their mom, or the man that their mom needed, right? Like, I saw my mom doing it by herself, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm leaving this woman to do it by themselves, and they stay. And it doesn't have to be with their kids. It could be with other people's kids, but I'm just saying that image of, I want to be the man that, and I know that's not always how they think about it, but that
Mhm.
is the imprint that's in them. Like, I don't want to be these MFers that fuck my mom over, or
Mhm.
my mom was doing it by herself. I want to be there for someone else. So I think that's messed up. And what some women do is
Right.
they, what I call, invade your life. They with you a couple of months, they moved in, their kids are moved in, they talk about, I need this, I couldn't do it by myself. And now you're like, oh, she needs me. I'ma save them. No, baby, save yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
Save-
that's some other shit. Like,
But it
but
happens
I know
too.
men do like to be, they like to.
That gives them big dick energy. I'm saving her. I'm it's an ego stroke. She needs me. I'm the
Well,
you don't
well,
think so, but it is.
I think men naturally like to provide. Like, no, I think that's just a natural role. I like people
Ex-
like to pretend that we don't have natural roles and
no,
everything.
y'all
Right.
do.
But a man naturally wants to provide for a woman. I know for me, I grew up watching my dad.
Mhm.
He provided for the household, and
Mhm.
he always told me, "Hey, this is what you do. You take care of, you get your wife, you take woman, you take care of your woman, you take care of the
Mhm.
household, you protect the house." You
But
know,
where's the balance? Where's the balance?
what do
That's
you mean?
if a man is taking care of a house, where's the balance? Where's the woman doing her role? Also, since you're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
roles, that needs to be balanced.
like normally the balance, but how I see it,
Mhm.
so the man takes care. The woman normally runs the house. So like for me, if you ask me what the schedule of what's going on,
Don't get
I
yourself
don't
in
know.
trouble.
Yeah, ask my wife. My wife will tell you all that shit. But
Mhm.
like when it comes to like money and stuff, I tend to handle that business and and get input on that. And she
Right.
runs the house.
But you
We
don't
all
feel
help.
alone. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
men doing that, and they just all that pressure right here by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman knows that. The woman in that situation knows that. Not in a situation where you say there's a balance. She has her role, I have my role, and everyone has different roles. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking
Yeah.
about that pressure that if I put this down, everything is going to fall apart. There
Everything's
are
gonna fall apart.
women that manipulate that way to keep the man. That's still toxic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From
That's
a
why you gotta
financial
have balance in your
standpoint,
relationships, man. You gotta
right?
have balance.
Right.
It's a comment. I don't think it came up yet, but it says it's bad when the mom or the kid have to call the. There you go. There you go, right there. It's bad when you try to call the.
Yes, yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
shit,
It
yeah,
is. But what I
yeah,
have found is though, like I did mention
Right.
that my son noticed it, but my thing was it was I had to show him that it's okay to say this happened, but I can move on. I can be better
Right.
because you don't know what you're gonna get. It's
Right.
okay to try and fail. It's okay to start over.
Mm-hmm.
So in situations like that, they may be uncontrollable, but then it comes a point where mom have to say, "Hey, pick your head up. Yes, you had to call the police on daddy for me. We good. We gonna start over. We gonna be all right." That's where uh, a 360 coming at you. You show your kids that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you know when it's time to get up, brush yourself up, and start over. But the more you stay and the more they see it, the more they're gonna accept it in their own relationships. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're all gonna go through something. Our children are gonna go through something. But it's a balance of teaching them enough is enough. Like know your breaking point. Know when it's time for you to walk out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that I get to see that he got to see me go from, oh, I need your dad to fuck that nigga thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Like let him live his best life because now he sees that I might find a woman that I love, but when it comes to a point that it's draining me, it's okay to say it's time to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay, don't feel bad if situations occur because shit happens. That's just life, shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Just show your children that when it does happen, know that it's not for you no more. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to start over. Don't feel bad. Don't worry about what people say. Don't hold marriage is sacred and all these other things that we hold. Like it's like I don't want nobody saying I got a divorce. So I don't want my mama to talk about me. I don't want my cousin to
Mm-hmm.
talk about me. Like
Mm-hmm.
none of that matters when you're hurt. So all you
Yes.
can do is show them that yeah, this happened. I apologize it happened, but now it's time for you to brush yourself off. So then they know when shit get real, like, oh, no, we ain't about to take this. I'm about to go find something else or work on myself. So it's okay. It's just
Well,
And
but
that's a great takeaway.
I will say though, I will say like when it comes to marriage, like like sometimes like things can start off a little toxic, but sometimes people can grow
Mm-hmm.
and better themselves within the situation, you know. And so like I know sometimes it's people it gets a little rough and things are going bad and they're like, all right, we gotta go, it's over. Now
Mm-hmm.
if it's too bad, yeah, but sometimes people do grow within marriages though,
Mm-hmm.
and relationships. And so sometimes you give it a shot, you try, you know. Sometimes you can get better. Toxic relationships
I mean,
can
I
get
agree
better.
with that.
People can grow. People can learn how to treat each other. Sometimes when you're married, sometimes it's as long as you've been with somebody ever. Eventually, it's going to be if you stay married long enough. So you kind of got to learn each other and learn like, damn, the way I thought about a relationship
Mm-hmm.
is not the way it's working. You make little adjustments because you love the person, you care about the person, So sometimes you can stick with it and you can grow as
Mm-hmm.
people. But if people aren't willing to grow, then yeah,
But you
I
said a
think it
key
depends.
word: grow
It,
together.
right. I was
yeah,
gonna say, and it's a
Sorry.
marriage. That's a big deal too,
yeah,
because that makes a difference. Whether it's just I'm just dating, or we're just seeing each other, or it's just a relationship. We've been together for a while. We're not married. To me, that's a whole nother level. Like you
Yes.
have
yeah.
to try. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just walking away from that. Like till death do us part. One of us got to die. Like
Or I'm gonna
that's
kill you. No, I'm joking.
right out. But no, I mean, but if we just talking and we just cool or whatever, and I don't like your vibes, or you, I'm turned off. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Energy is
yeah.
I
real.
don't have time to waste. Like, I don't have time to waste. I'm not doing
Yeah,
this.
energy is real. I don't think people
Yeah.
think that, but for me, if I already feel like yeah, and you can't, no, I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm big
And
on
to
that.
this day, I think 9 out of 10 times I've been right about people's energy. So
You gotta trust that. And when somebody shows you who they are, like
believe
believe them. Don't make it up in your head like, oh no, no, it's on something will change. Like if it's bad where you have to convince yourself, dog, like just walk away. I don't married and all. I don't care. Like choose you. You know what I mean? I don't care what the relationship status is. Choose you. Period.
And I've heard some great takeaways this evening. And so my takeaway from tonight as we wind down is to just truly value yourself. You affirm and confirm yourself. Don't rely on anything and anybody else to define and again affirm you and your value.
Okay.
Okay,
What
okay.
about you, Tisa?
Shit happen. Forgive yourself, okay?
I got
Forgive
you.
yourself because shit happened. And by no means, like, I'm a mindfulness coach because I told you. Only reason why I studied this shit for real, because I wanted to know what is wrong with me. I needed to understand. And when I understand, I say, hey, there's thousands of people out there like me. Let me share what I learned. So it's hard as fuck. It is not easy by any means, but forgive yourself because you don't know. And stop saying all I know is what I know, because what if you know it's absolutely wrong? This shit is just wrong. So forgive yourself, love yourself, and just take your time, y'all. It's not easy, but you put the work in, you'll smile eventually. I ain't saying tomorrow, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Shantae?
Um, I mean, as a self-love ambassador, I'm just gonna say love yourself. I will, reiterate that. And just, trust your instincts and just you can't really go through like you're not gonna know, right? Like we have so much anxiety about things that we don't know that's happened yet and all this other stuff. Just be in the moment, appreciate what's there, show the gratitude, and what's for you gonna show up. That's it.
I would like to say that everyone's journey is different. You should be learning along the way, growing along the way, and becoming a different you every time. Every time. Um, there is no true definition or true substance to life if you don't love yourself. And in loving yourself, it's forgiving yourself. It's allowing yourself to be scared, but still taking the chance. And the core of anything you want starts with you. So if you are not there 100%, mind, body, soul, wrapped together with peace, it's just never going to work. And so you have to remember on this journey that you are the most important ingredient to that, always.
All right. And so my last words is, I guess the word is self-reflection, man. Self-reflect, reflect on your relationship every now and then. Actually look at it and see, damn, is this, is this healthy? Am I being treated the way I want to be treated? Am I treating the other person the way I don't want to be treated? And sometimes you gotta stop and do that, man. It helps you out. I know it's helped me out before. And if the answer is what you don't like, you gotta try to make changes. And if those changes don't happen and the other person's not willing, then they're not willing. You gotta do what you gotta do. But if they are, then roll with it. Don't quit too early. But if they are, then try to work with it and make things better. All right. And don't be beating on each other, getting that 48 hours, because that ain't no joke. Not that I know. All right. All right. So before we get out of here, hey, if you guys like everything, man, go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, join the group. We on Spotify now. We got TikTok. We all over the place now. So the Good Guy Experience. Yes.
Good guy,
Yes.
anywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
So
when you check me out, please use the promotion code, the Good Guy Experience, for an additional discount because I fuck with these people and they fuck with me back. So don't forget to use the promotion code. I'm gonna charge you full price. I'm not playing because it's already the first when you first get in school going back. Use the promotion code Good Guy Experience for a discount.
all right, y'all heard that. So we'll hit y'all up next time with the good guy experience. With experience is always good. Peace.